Alright, what's up, guys? This is Ninja on a Ninja, and basically, this is another video for you today. As I told you, there's gonna be a few today. I actually have quite a few ideas. I would, but I ain't gonna. I delete them, but so many ideas, man. Anyways, um, I have so many plans and just, too much. Anyways, okay, move this. Okay, so I want you to watch. Let's make sure. Okay, this. Okay, so this guy, Treehouse Detective, Mr. Rogers is responsible for saving the adult film industry. Mr. Rogers TV, film, television, movies. Now, basically, back in the day, we had not a system, but basically, people would make sure that other people wouldn't like speak too much if they don't know, and so misinformation was kind of naturally stomped out, and people who didn't know didn't feel like they should speak or like they had a mic, they weren't given a microphone. And that is unfortunately what it is today, where people who don't know for some reason are making videos. They're talking, they're acting like something, they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. And the problem is that it's affecting everyone who watches it. And even worse is that the rich are, they see a way to make money off of it, and so it's like they'll flood this misinformation with resources and attention, and then they'll shut up this over here, and they'll sap away everything that they can, so that this never takes off. Like Bernie Sanders or myself, for example, like I get no traffic, I get no attention, no one notices me, everyone acts hateful towards me. It's just 24/7. The game's rigged for me, and it's also rigged for them, but in a way where it's like they will bloom, they will prosper, like this guy that I'm pointing out. And I've called out many people and everybody, but everyone's like, "Oh fuck you, you're a hater." It's like, dude, I'm just telling. Like, again, back in the day, this was normal. I myself was hospitalized, and I grew up in a hospital, and I was AFK while everyone else was losing their brain power or their thinking capacity or this natural ability to call people out. You were being afraid. Like, you have no balls. I have balls still. Like, I remember I was in Destiny's chat, and she's like, "You want to say the N word?" And I said it, and she's like, "Wow, you have balls." And immediately, somebody was there to take advantage of her and her thoughts. I know he could say that because he has the power. I gave him the power, and eventually, he was stealing the thunder. Like, immediately, like just instant. Like, it was happening in front of me. That's how bad it got. But I was new to the whole thing, so I'm sitting like, God, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what happened? What happened? And that's how I see the world, right? But everyone will say, "Oh, you're a hater, you're a hater." There's no hate. There's no hate. That's just you who look at me saying bad things about the guy that you fucking, you sub or whatever. You spend all your money, your attention, your time believing in some faker, and then you want to hate me for calling them out. And I'm just, again, all I'm doing is just saying the truth. But anyways, so now we get to this guy. All right. He is doing what I just told you. He, like everyone else, he's a faker. Fake it to make it, basically some story, and he's just trying to get hits, trying to get attention, trying to get people to subscribe to him. There's rich people behind it, I'm sure. They're paying to influence it to make it bigger and get more attention, so more people go to it. more people get wrong information and learn. And this is why MAGA and Trump won, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. It's because of what's it called? What the fuck is it called? Um, something. I think it starts with a P. Fuck. I forgot the word of it. But then in the World War One and World War Two, they did it. What they did is during when Germany was like in World War Two, for example, when they're fighting Germany, they would fly pamphlets over Germany, and these pamphlets would read, "Stay inside. America is coming. The alliance is coming. They're there to help you if you're on the good side," and things like that. And that's what the battle is. That's what the curtain misinformation is. That's what Russia is. That's what China is. Like, oh, it's like what Trump is basically. Like, oh, Trump is great. Trump is amazing. Trump is why this is doing this and this is doing that. And it's like in reality, if you actually look at it, you realize it's a spell. It's not really him. It's people telling him to do things, and him being, yeah, this makes sense. Okay, I'll do it. And that's all it is. It's misinformation. It's fucking. I can't think of the word. Uh, Something. Let's see. I didn't mean to do that. Close that. What's that word for like when people lie and trick you, or when they try to make you believe something that's not true? I forget the word.
Yeah, I think the word you're looking for might be deceive or deception. Basically, when someone is lying or tricking you into believing something that's not true, they're deceiving you.
It's
Another word could
kind
be
of like that. It's not those words, but it's like that. Like there's a pamphlet and it has the truth, but someone is lying to you to make you believe something. But there's pamphlets that will reveal the truth. I can't remember the word. I think it's just a P. I'm not sure.
Oh, got it. I think the word you're looking for might be propaganda. That's a term that often describes information that's misleading or biased, usually spread to promote a certain point of view or agenda. It's definitely in that realm of trying to make you believe something that's not the full truth. So, yeah, that might be the P word you had in mind.
Yeah, propaganda. That's it. Thank you, Boo.
You're totally welcome. I'm glad we pinned that down. If you need anything else, just give me a shout.
Propaganda. That's what it was. Propaganda. And that's basically what the whole fucking shebang is. And these are my videos, by the way. If you're wondering, I was trying to see if I used that word, but I did not. But anyways, so it's propaganda. They're trying to make you believe something that isn't true. That's what Russia is, and that's what China is. They try to make you believe something like, I know that there's a lot of money spent at this one, um, like the Olympics. They spent a lot of money to at the Olympics to make themselves look like the nation was great, but they put a stage around the Olympics and no one was allowed to travel around the city because the city itself was so shitty. And they had the Olympics there anyways, and they spent a lot of money to pretend that they had it good, but they didn't have it good. America was one nation that had it good, and everywhere else is pretending to be America, and everyone wanted to go to those other places thinking they were real or they were legit, but it turns out they were lies and they were bullshit. And that's what we're seeing. It's fake it to make it people. It's just people that are selling you an image, right? They're trying to be like what you want, but they actually are not that. They're just faking it. And the problem is they're in the way, people, or they're taking my position. They took our jobs, basically. Like instead of you being my fan or my subscriber or sending me money, you're giving attention to him. And again, he is selling you bullshit. He's selling you snake oil. He's trying to sell you bridges and shit, right? But he doesn't actually have the rights to any of that bullshit. It's all bull. So listen to his story real quick. So go ahead.
Rogers is responsible for saving the adult film industry. You see, in the late 1970s, the Japanese company Sony introduced a new device to the United States market, and it was called the VCR. And with this new device, you could go to the store and buy tapes with movies and TV shows on them and watch them at home whenever you wanted, which was amazing because prior to the advent of the VCR and home media, at any given time, 99% of everything ever made was unwatchable to you. But there was somebody who didn't think it was a very good idea, and it was movie studios who thought that home video was going to be the death of movie theaters. So in 1976, Warner Brothers and Disney brought a lawsuit to the U.S. District Court asking for all home media technology to be banned in the United States. The case was thrown out in 1979 by the court, but Warner Brothers and Disney appealed, and in 19...
Real quick, I gotta interrupt because you notice he's like, "Hey, I have a point. I'm expressing a point." Pause. He reads the script. Okay. Unpause. And what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm just acting like I'm way more like talkable than I am. I'm trying to show you that I'm a hero and I'm an alpha and I can actually promote. Oh shit. Pause. Edit out. I'm just trying to tell you that I'm actually pretty cool and pretty awesome. But in reality, you don't know what the truth is because I'm lying to you and you're just believing my bullshit because I'm editing all of the bullshit out and you think I'm actually like that and I'm not. And I have a document called The Downfall of America that I'm going to read from right now. There's a person who, his name is Philip DeFranco. He's the number 2 faker on my list. And basically he is like one of the people who originated the whole fake it to make it movement. Like if you asked yourself, or if anyone has ever asked you, if you took a car and replaced every part of that car with another part, is that the same car or is it a different car? Like if you had let's just say a car, right? And you have the car, now you replace the seat, and now you replace the trunk, now you replace the stereo. And just over the years, you're replacing parts and parts and parts, and eventually you replace everything in that car. Is that a different car? Like that was the idea, right? And so what I'm trying to tell you is they tried to ask that same thing of a human. If instead of a car, now it's a human. If you had a human and he had new teeth, new lips, new everything, is it the same human or is it a different human? And my statement was, if you ever wanted to know, look at Philip DeFranco because he is the living embodiment of that. Every part of him is fake or phony or fraudulent or bullshit or fake, some alternative. And that's what you get with him. All of his videos are edited, they're all fake, it's all bullshit basically. But you all gave him all the money. And again, if that was me, America would be better right now. But because of these little fakers and little faggots and these little fuckers who basically are insecure and petty, they're all making loud noises basically. But me being an alpha and someone who's very content with my life because I had money, I had power, I had bitches, I had stuff. Things were good. I didn't need to speak up. And so what happened is eventually they took over the turf of mine because eventually they just wanted too much and they got what they wanted. Basically, and that kind of plays into my last video where fake it to make it and like they ruined the good thing because they took advantage of it and now it doesn't exist anymore. He ruined a good thing, right? And again, he's on a list of people. He's number 2. Um, Number 1 is actually somebody else. Let's see, Tim Pool, and that's because he has his nose that's surgically connected to Trump's butthole. But and then Hassan Parker. There's a tie between Hassan Parker and then David Pakman. And the reason why David Pakman is up there is because he is a bitch and he plans to bail. He has made statements that if America keeps proceeding the way it is, he's gonna jump ship and go to like some other nations, to some European nation. But the problem is, he's like supposed to be the man. I'm so like it's supposed to women and children first, you know, like you take the hit basically. You're supposed to get shot. You know, if you're taking you're the alpha, buddy. We come to you. You're making statements and you're planting your flag and you're in the middle of all this and you're the first one to tuck tail and run. Like, you're like, as long as the money's good, I'll stay. But the second there's drama, I'm gonna run. But I'll take my money too. Like, and that's the problem. That's what the rich are doing. Do you understand? Like, that's what they're doing. They're trying to protect their wealth. And that's what you're fucking doing, you fucking idiot. So that's why they're up there. That's why they are the way they are. It's because the fake it till you make it bullshit. So, anyways, just notice, look at him. He's editing his video and pretending to be something he isn't. And that's the problem. He's taking up the road. It's traffic. It's fake it till you make it, fuckers. Before, they were just kind of there, and now they're in the line. And it's like, dude, get the fuck out of the fast line. You don't belong. But yet, there they are. There they are. So.
In 1983, the case was brought to the Supreme Court, but this time they had some much more powerful allies.
See how he reached forward? He was going to pause it, but then he stopped and started talking, and then he's like, oh, but the Supreme Court, they had powerful allies, and then he paused it, and now he unpaused it and starts going on to the next point, because he's reading from a script. I'm not. I'm just talking. I'm real. I'm authentic. They're not.
Jack
Fake it to make it, people. That's the problem with the world.
Valenti, the head of the government organization, the MPAA, the guy who literally created the movie rating system, was a staunch supporter of Warner Brothers and Disney in their efforts to get home media banned in the United States. He was quoted as saying, "The VCR is to the American film producer," and
I like how he tries to, oh, now I'm going to read from a script. And I'm not reading a script the whole time, pretending to be something I'm not. But I'm gonna become one for a moment. Like, come on, dude. Like, what the fuck?
and the American public as the Boston Strangler is to the woman home alone. Quite a statement. So things were
Again, quite a statement. Pause, and then he unpauses it after he read his script, and then fake it to make it.
not looking good for the VCR in the US. But then the Supreme Court brought in a very important material witness to give a testimony, and that was
I'm talking to you, and clearly not reading a script. Nope. Yeah, sister. Yeah, like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Just talk. What the fuck?
our man Fred Rogers. Rogers was no stranger to giving powerful testimonies that saved entire institutions. He spoke in front of Congress in 1969, begging them to not cut funding to PBS, and his speech was so powerful and moving that Congress ended up doubling the budget of PBS. And it just so happened that he was a huge believer in this new technology of the VCR because he felt like it gave families and children flexibility and power to watch programming around their own schedules. So instead of children having to sit there and wait for TV shows to come on and miss important opportunities and events in their lives to catch a single TV show, they could just tape it and watch it at their leisure.
He didn't feel that way. It was that way. You're a dumbass, but continue.
And he thought that that was incredibly important. The Supreme Court ruled
Pause,
in
unpause.
favor of Sony and the VCR, and in their landmark decision, they explicitly stated that their sole reason for this was because of Rogers' testimony. But here's the thing. In the early 80s, the adult film industry was on the verge of collapsing. It's hard to imagine now, but at the time, the only source of seeing these kinds of films was going to theaters in the public.
That's kind of crazy, by the way. The fact that in order to watch porn, you had to go to movie theaters to watch porn. It's like, who's the creeps? I wonder.
And more, people just weren't going to the theaters anymore. Throughout the early 80s, the advent of the VCR was a huge shot in the arm for the industry, and it went from being this seedy back alley thing where you had to go into a dark theater and sit with a bunch of other people and you didn't really want anybody to know about it, to a huge home video empire that rivaled the mainstream film industry in terms of money earned. And though
Edit, pretending fake to make it non-stop, dude.
he had no idea and probably could have never anticipated it when he made that testimony, it was because of Fred Rogers. So, thanks? Not many people know this, but Mr. Rogers
Okay, so he put all of that on to Fred Rogers, who is Mr. Rogers or whatever. But again, he's fake. He read a script and he's pretending to be something he can't be like me talking to you. No script. I'm not reading anything. Like I have a script. Don't get me wrong. I haven't read it yet. I haven't. It's not script. It's more of a. I'll get to it. But the point is, I'm being real with you. I'm authentic. I'm a real alpha. I'm the shit. I was and I've always been in my life. I've got girls. I had friends. I used to race. I used to run. Used to competition. Used to play basketball. Used to play football. Used to play soccer. Played video games. I was number one Smash. Not number one in my area. I was number one Smash Brothers. I was number one in the nation in PSAS, like all this other shit because I was the real deal. I was actual truth. He's faking it. And again, they're in the way. So instead of me leading you, you have this idiot who's leading you, and it's in misinformation. And the rich are again paying to shut me down, and the rich are paying to highlight him, and that's what's going on in America. But anyways, the point. So I said, "You are an idiot." Ha 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 ha. There's that was from way back in the day. There was it was a small time virus to show how viruses could be, and for people who didn't know how, basically every time you closed it, two popped up, and that was all it would do. And then every single one of them would say, "You are an idiot," ha 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 ha, and you close it, and then "You are an idiot," and they get louder and louder and louder, and you couldn't close it unless you actually went Control Delete, find the program, and then close the program. And then the hack was gone or whatever. But that's what reminded me of it. Anyways, so what he is saying, because human exists and because this circumstance happened, something else that has nothing to do with it that happened as a result, they're in the same, it's the same thing. So he's saying Mr. Rogers is responsible for the porn industry to do well. And technically, kind of, in a sense, you can say that, but that's not true. And the reason why is because he had no involvement with the porn industry. He was just about that. And this was the porn industry was able to benefit off of it. But Mr. Rogers didn't go out of his way to like, I want the porn industry to do better. You know what I'm saying? But that's what he is framing it as. And that's the problem, basically. And that, again, like this is easy shit, right? But that's what it is. And all the way up to presidential level, all the way up to politics and whatever, that's what's going on. Is there are people like him who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, being promoted by the rich to get be seen by as many people as possible, so that everyone else is fucking stupid and everyone gets tricked and swindled into running off a cliff. Meanwhile, the truth that's right there is being shut down like Bernie Sanders. Like he's the number two. Like out of everything talked about right now across the world, excluding America, Bernie Sanders is the number two hot button. But in America, there's not a fucking peep. Basically, because they control the narrative, they control the dictation. And they know that if they talk about Sanders, then the world will benefit, basically. And the same thing is happening to me and anyone like me. Anyone that could benefit, they shut up. And anyone like him who will lead you off a cliff, they promote. That's what's going on. And that's why I want to call this out. So no, there's a thing called context, and I understand you are dumb and looking for clickbait lies to grab attention because you can't compete with the truth. You're too weak. But yeah, he is responsible for it. But it benefited because you're too weak. Yeah, so I don't say I'm dumb when I wrote this. But and I understand you are dumb and looking for clickbait lies to grab attention because you can't compete with truth. And someone like myself, you are a fake it to make a person. You are too weak to do so. But yeah, Bernie Sanders isn't responsible for it. but it did benefit off of what he did. Basically, is what I said. And again, you're trying to frame it as Bernie Sanders is responsible for this. Dude, come on. But I'm trying to tell you that no, Bernie Sanders is not responsible for it. Just like Bernie Sanders is not responsible for you being a dumbass, right? But he's human. He's in the industry. He's in the government. So I didn't get my money. So that means he did it. No, dumbass. There's a thing called context, right? And this is why in science, everything depends, right? How does a black hole do whatever it does? It depends. How does this do a thing? It depends. How does that do a thing? It depends. Everything does a thing. Political is the same thing. What's it called? Finances, everything you can imagine, it depends. There is no I win button. That is the essence of buying a bridge or snake oil. Basically, like there's no such thing. It's a lie. It's bullshit. It's just that they're trying to trick you, and that's what America is being consumed by. Because there's so many people out there that are trying to sell it to you, and the rich are promoting that more, and they're stomping down everyone else because grassroots no longer rules in America. Right now, it's ruled by by money, by capitalism. Now we're seeing how capitalism can be bad, right? Because they try to make it look like capitalism is this great thing, but as long as you only factor in the top 10, the best 10% of capitalism, of course, yes, it'll look great. But what if the worst 10%? And then there's socialism. Every time I look at socialism, it's always look at the worst you possibly can, but they never show you the best parts of it. For example, that guy that has that $1 billion boat for no fucking reason. Instead of that, all of fucking Nevada now has schools, and kids can go to schools and get educated. Basically, like instead of that fucking one boat, now a whole state has schools. Like that was socialism. That's the idea is. But again, they're trying to get you to grow up hating it, and he's a fucking reason. Like this is what's going on. This is exactly what's going on. So, anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching. Take a roll, keep it easy. Have a good one. Be well, be happy, be safe. I'm out. I go. And, I don't know. But yeah, praise Allah, praise Yevon, praise God. Yeah, I don't believe in any of that shit. But I don't not believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it happens, it happens. I don't know. I don't know. I can't say. It's impossible to say. Right? To say that it is stupid. And to say that it isn't is stupid. They're equally as stupid. If you're atheist or atheist or a theist, you're an idiot. Anyways, be well, be happy, be safe. I'm out. Take it real. Keep it easy. Have a good night. Peace.